I'm gonna put everything away. I'm not gonna do nothing. I'm gonna put everything away, but we're gonna have a conversation. And sure enough, he FaceTimed me. He showed me that he turned the phone in. And then he came home and we talked. When we talked, we had to have a real conversation, y'all, because he was not ready to be done with talking to her. He was still, and I want you to explain this because I didn't understand how I found out everything the day before. Why are you still talking to this person?
I don't know. At that moment, I was still in shock. Like I wasn't gonna stop. Like it was like I won't say like a relationship, but it was like a bond that we had, and I didn't want to let the bond go because it was like a relationship, but it wasn't. But just a talk conversation that I was liking when we talked about because she was a star, I was amazing. So I didn't want to talk to her, even though it happened the day before. I was like, you know what? Oh well, it happened. I'm gonna keep on going. So that's what happened. Though she called me on the phone. I threw the phone down. It was crazy. Like I said, the enemy is so dumb, but God is so strategic. That's a shirt or a book or something.
It's something.
And I'm like, I promise you, this never happened. The phone, I didn't hear no indication of the phone ringing, the phone picking up, and I heard that she's scared. I was scared. I threw the phone down, and I was hit the brakes. I said, hold on, how's she on the phone? I'm like, oh my God. I ain't coming home. I was scared. Because for us to happen the day before, the next day this happened, I knew I was done. Something that was going to happen to me. Mm-hmm. So I ended up going to the place, turned the phone, man. We got back home, and we talked it out. But telling y'all, man, look, being a man, be intentional about who you are.
Yeah.
No, seeking validation is very, very, very demonic. Especially when you got what you had at home. I had what I had at home. I had a wife and kids who loved me. But I was so greedy and want to seek God, seek everything else, hungry for the world, that almost cost me everything. And we got to step up the kingdom. First of all, it's an identity crisis. We got to know who we are. And when we don't know who we are, we seek validation. We idolize stuff. We do different things, make us feel good, feel better. And again, it can cause us to go down to a rabbit hole we can't get out of. Now, one of my guys at church, he said it's a broad area and a narrow area. Mm-hmm. And sometimes if we get so in the broad area, we can't find a narrow area back, which is God. That's what I did. I was so in the broad area that it took me a while to find a narrow path with God. When I did, I understood who I was. And it happened, but we got to understand, we was created first. God gave us dominion and power. Yeah. So when we forget who we were, it allows us to go down different things, do different things, lust, pornography, a whole bunch of stuff. And I asked myself, I said, what part of my life trauma that caused me to lose who I was? And it was masonry. I knew God, but I wanted something more. I felt like it was a brotherhood, something I'd be a part of. I'm trying to get their attention, being known, being somebody know that, he Arthur Mitchell, he a Mason, something that had some power behind my name. And it caused me to really mess myself up. I was something different. When I had that coat on, the hat on, the chain, I was unstoppable. I mean, I felt like I was God. I feel like I had a power that God had. No, you can't touch me. The police can't touch me. I'm this. No, everybody got my back. The lies got my back. I'm that guy. But I wasn't. And the enemy was steadily, man, getting my mind messed up. That's you gotta renew your mind every day. Because the more you get into sin, the more your mind will get away from God. And when the disconnection happens, mm-hmm. It's kind of hard to connect back. Mm-hmm. So just let my wife finish. But I had to throw that another nugget in for the men. We gotta it's time for the step up, man. This is the year 2026 that God is calling us to the forefront. He's tired of playing with us. He's tired of giving us grace. And if we don't step up, they'll tell us what may happen.
Absolutely, and just be very wise on who you marry. Mm-hmm. It's not. You can't just marry anybody and go through these situations. I knew that this was the man that God had for me was because when we went through it, I told him, I'm going to pray for you. I'm not going to leave. And I knew that God was going to do it. I didn't feel like it was over. I know the feeling of when it's over. I didn't have that feeling. And so I'm like, God, well, you got to help me through this because there's no way I can get through this without you. Y'all, it literally probably took 1.5 years to maybe 2 years for me to stop asking the questions.
Yes.
there was one particular, not the Eastern Star, but it was another person that I felt she took what was mine. There were some very intimate things that transpired, and I was not okay. And so for a long time, even loving on my husband, it was hard for me. Take your time. Healing does not have a time period. Healing is not linear. Like, you have to go through the healing process and feel every single thing. And so that was hard. That was hard for me. It took me about 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years, yeah.
To really, really, really heal. I went back to the place where we was living at months ago, I want to say, and my chest got tight. And I started breathing heavy, and I looked at my daughter and said, girl, you know, I haven't been here since all of that stuff happened. And I don't feel good. Like, I don't feel like... And so the triggers were still coming out. Even a year or two after, they still... It's okay. The enemy played on that a lot and had me comparing myself to these women. I talked about that last time. Comparing myself to these women in his phone, the women that I saw. And what he had me comparing myself to, y'all, were demons. They were spirits. It wasn't the women that looked so good and da-da-da. No, these were demonic entities on the inside of these people that had them looking a certain way, what he liked, had them, whatever was the appetite of my husband at the time. That's what it looked like. And all of them looked pretty much the same and nothing like me. So it was just like, okay, this is not okay. I can't keep comparing myself. You never compare yourself to what you're here. We learned this today at a service that we went to. You're already seated on the throne, and you're comparing yourself to demons and demonic spirits and witches and warlocks and people and spirits that has been sent to destroy your marriage. You comparing yourself to that? No. You have to stop. If you need help, please reach out. You cannot compare yourself to what the enemy has created to destroy your marriage. It's not going to work. So it took me maybe about a year to stop doing that. And this healing process has been up and down. We were in a church before we're in the church that we're in now. And my husband just superseded. Like, the transformation naturally was taking place spiritually. And he went from not really wanting to come to church at all whatsoever, and I had to drag him to church, to a minister and preaching and praying. And there was one particular person that he was praying over, and I just looked at him like, why are you touching her? Why are you doing this? And why? And I know it was the enemy that was playing on me because it wasn't anything inappropriate. And so even then, it was still coming out. And so now I don't have those thoughts. I don't have those questions. I don't have them. And I think the very last one that left, the last healing process for me, was when he was out with one person in particular, and probably the other one too, the Eastern Star. But when he was out, he did a lot of like cuddling, or like he talked about how he would be hugged up watching movies and stuff. And I'm like, I've been with you for 10 years and you don't do that. You don't show me that side of you. We learned in life coaching that when you are doing these things, when you're under those attacks and you're under those spirits, you can become a completely different person than what you really are. Or you can become a completely different person at home than what you are. So either or. And so I was like, just like you were able to be intimate with them, you could do the same for me. And again, I was comparing what he was doing with them with what he does with me. And so that was one of the last things to leave. During this transformation, he went on a 90-day fast, and those things were happening during his 90-day fast. The 90-day fast, I was like, baby, that's a lie. I'm not doing a 90-day fast with you now. I do 40, but I ain't doing 90. And he really did the 90-day fast. Y'all, it was bumpy, it was beautiful, it was ugly, we fussed, and in that 90-day fast, we went from where we were living at to a beautiful, four bedroom, beautiful home. And it was a wonderful facility that we were a part of, the Harvest Center of Charlotte, where they help homeless people, situationally homeless people, get back on their feet. And that's what we were at the time. We were so in debt. So many things was going on. Our lives completely transformed with his yes and that 90-day fast.
So I pick about that, man. This is what I got to say, man. You're the head.
Yeah.
When the head is messed up, the tail follows. Because of what happened, the eviction, the transition of homes, the financial situation, it was all because of me. The decisions I made through Freemasonry, the women, and all because of me. And man, listen to this. When you do, your decisions are bad, you have a family, it's going to trickle down to them. Because you're the head. God can look at you, not them. And that's what I was told at the facility. He said, if something happens, you're going to look at you.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't do nothing but because you're the head. I mean, when you're the head, you gotta stand up. You gotta be intentional about what you're doing, your thoughts, your decisions, because the very thought or decision you make can mess your whole family up.
Yeah.
And when I got to the facility, I said, God, why am I here? I'm 41 years old at the time. I should be well off, family good, but God said, be still, know that I'm God. So in the midst of my fast, he was pruning me. He was getting me prepared for my next. Because I didn't want to be there. I mean, she can tell you I had attitude with everybody.
Horrible.
I was talking back. I was like, I ain't care no more. I ain't want to be here. Me and the mentor, they having going back and forth. I was messing up. Because I didn't think I deserved that. But because it was my decision, what I did the 2 years before that allowed this to happen. And man, when something happens that you think it wasn't your fault, it is because you're the head. It's what you do behind closed doors. What you do in front of your family will cause things to happen. And that's what I did, causing me to go down a path of eviction, all that kind of stuff. I ain't never done that before. I never been through that before, but decisions I made in 2021 to join Freemasonry and allowed me for all this to happen. You know, the idolizing them, the infidelity, the eviction, and the financial. We was in debt hard.
Yeah.
I mean, debt hard. I lost my job.
Yeah.
Losing job, and all because I was in an organization that I shouldn't have been in. And the enemy knew what he was doing. He tried to take everything from me. He was trying to really, man, push me back. But every time I pushed it back, God said, here I go. But I didn't listen. So he said, I'm going to strip this. I'm going to strip this. I'm going to strip this. Like, I got fired for no reason in my job. I was just so much stuff what happened. Like, God, what is going on? And he said, yo, you're not in my company. You're not in me.
Right.
You're in a community that I never gave you authority to. Nothing. She mean, if God didn't tell you to do it, don't do it. It may look good and sound good, but if God didn't tell you to do it, don't do it. I didn't consult God. All I consulted was the community service, what they did, and how they cooked the chicken for the family. I didn't ask God this what I wanted. I just said, God, I want this because it feels like something to do as a Christian organization.
Yeah.
He never told me yes, but I told myself, yeah, when you do what before what God tell you to do, stuff like this happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And all the while I'm praying, and I'm just having a fit because I'm like, I didn't deserve this. Why do I have to go through this? So I'm not saying that this is everybody's story. Some people in the midst of this, they break up, they divorce, they come back together. We did not. And it was not easy. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to say that it was, everything went well. No, it was ugly. It was hard.
Not at all.
It was confusing. I knew better. I knew that I felt like I could do better by myself. I could do this without him. I have a college degree. I can go get a good job. Like, I don't need him. It was so many things that I had to fight through because I wanted my marriage. And I knew what God had told me. This was my husband, and I'm going to fight for it. The devil, you can't have him. You can't have my children. And what I understood was because this was a generational curse, it was going to be 1,000 times worse than my son. And I wasn't having it. No, we're going to stay together and we're going to stick this thing through. And I'm so glad that I did stand still and allow God to do what he did, because after that transitional living situation, we were blessed with our beautiful home that we have now. The kids are thriving. My 16-year-old went from just not listening, rebellion, doing the things that she wanted to do, dibbling and dabbling in different things, to now I have a baby prophet on my hands. Like, I have someone who dances to the glory of God. I have somebody who's getting me in order. And I'm like, who are you? I mean, absolutely phenomenal. I have a baby girl who went from that anxiety, that scared of everything, all of that, to now, honey, I have to tell her, ma'am, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Because she's very adamant. She is not as energetic and like outgoing when it comes to the church and doing things in church. But if I ask her anything that happened in church or what the word was about or to explain to me a verse, the way she can revel it off and the way she prays for people, it is absolutely amazing. And then to see my son go from repeating the things that I was saying to his dad, that was not okay, getting in trouble every single day. I'm talking about every day I would get a phone call. And when I say in trouble, I mean hitting people's desks, touching where he wasn't supposed to be touching.
Yeah.
Just saying stuff he ain't had no business saying. To now, yes, he does have things that he has to work on at school, but it's nothing like it was before. And he's so brilliant and so smart. And he wants to be a preacher, and he knows that God has called him. Like, just to see the transformation in these kids, it's because of his yes. And so I'm just so grateful at where God has us. We're both working for the school systems. We're in our purpose. We're walking. It feels so good. Like, it feels like, okay, yes, that was a lot, but it was worth it. It was worth it now that I see. And now, to be planted in a church that serves God for real, and is not, the servant leader of the house is not wooed by your gifts and your talents, and her whole point to this is to get God's people ready. I'm telling you, I am just so blessed at where he has us in this life and where we are. Abundance and overflow. And so out of this came so much. One of the things that came out of this is my husband's book, What Happens When Real Men Fast. It is finally out. And we are so excited about it. This book has been a long time coming. Mind you, this is the book he told me about in 2023. And it's been 3 years. We've been working on it for at least 2 years. And it is out. And we'll put the information in the caption just on how you can get the book. But it is a 90-day devotional for real men who need real results.
Man, let me tell y'all, man, this book is amazing. And the testimonies have been coming through, man, being blessed. It's all about having real men fast. Like, my testimony about fasting and praying. It wasn't nothing but the grace of God that got me to this point, got me to want to speak to men, got me to want to tell my testimony, being vulnerable, being transparent. All because when I took the 7-day fast and really, man, went and dealt with God, it happened. And when you surrender to God and say, God, give me your all, and he said, find out what happened through prayer and fasting, he'll show you. He kept my marriage. He kept my kids and my family. The relationships is better. Things are getting great. And I'm just grateful to God because you know what happened real men fast. So look, man, this book is for you who's struggling with identity crisis, trauma, cancer, hurts. All this in my book. You in the organization talks about that as well. Look, get this book. It's for you. I promise you, man, it'll change your life forever.
Absolutely. And mine is on the way. So we are working on that as I speak. And my book will be What Happens When Kingdom Wives Fast. We still have the see God's face on the cover and all the good stuff. But I'm so excited about what God is doing in our home. Now our baby boy is working on a kids version. So just what God is doing in this, we are just so excited about it. And again, this is not everybody's story. We're not pushing our store on anybody else, but I wanted you to know that if you are in the midst of this, coming out of this, or the beginning of our store, wherever you are, wherever you find yourself, just know that God can turn it around. It is going to take much work. It's going to take obedience. It's going to take much sacrifice. And it's going to also have you looking crazy. There's a lot of women I hear online and on YouTube that's like, girl, she stayed with him because she was insecure. She stayed with him because I would leave him. But if you are a kingdom wife, then you understand what it is to hear God's voice and listen to the voice of God. It is not an easy task because it will have you out here looking crazy. I'm pretty sure Noah will look real crazy. Y'all, and I'm telling you, this blew my mind because I really thought it was like 120, 150 days that Noah built the ark and was waiting for the rain. It was years, y'all. So I know Noah looked crazy to a lot of people. But he said it was going to rain, and it did rain. So I just want to encourage you to let you know that it can work. It can happen. God will and can and is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we can ask or think. And he's not even finished with the blessings that's going to come out of this man's yes. There are so many things that are happening because of not only his yes, but his continual yes. His abiding in God and God abiding in him. And so I'm just so grateful at where we are and where God is taking us. And the great news that's on the way. So if he could do it for us, I know he could do it for you. This definitely went a little longer than what we expected, but we had to let you know the real, the raw, and what God did for us. So we love y'all.
We love y'all.
We ask that you comment down below.
Yes.
Subscribe, like, share.
Yes.
Reach out if you need help with anything, just to talk. I don't have a program or anything, not counselors or nothing like that. We just know what God did for us.
Yes.
And we know that he could do it for you as well. So if you need an accountability partner, if you need someone to come and talk to, we are here. And we are not done. There are some things that we have to make sure that we're going to do for you all, retreats and things that God has given us that we want to do. So that's still coming. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you can be reminded of when we are coming back, because we are coming back.
Yes.
And I'm not going to say every Sunday. I'm going to say though, twice a month, you're going to see us. Twice a month, you're going to see us on this app. So we love y'all, and we hope y'all have a wonderful week until we see you again. All right, bye.